What's up, nerds? Welcome back to the channel. We have a tournament to go fish down south in Alabama.
Alabama is down south compared to where we are in Michigan, which is up north.
It's pretty far away. So we are fishing Guntersville Lake, and it's going to be an interesting time having the fact that we've never fished down south before on purpose.
It's really hard to go to a new lake. When it's down the road, when you're like, oh, we should go check that lake out, and then you get wrecked because it's a new lake. You're trying to figure it out. So I think we're magnifying that to the nth degree.
New lake, new state. Listen, it doesn't matter. We're gonna win on separate teams because we are separate teams as well.
We're not gonna lose because we're gonna have some fun. We're gonna hang out with some of our awesome fishing friends who are nerding out in their areas of the country, and they're going to meet us down there in Guntersville for the Knuklehed Championship Series. So we, for the last couple of months, been trying to figure out who's going to be in each of our teams. We have our teams, and now we actually get to go fish. Grand prize, $10,000. We're going to have fun either way. No one's losing. And in order to have some fun, you have to do some preparation. If you don't prepare, you won't have... If you don't prepare, you won't have fun. So what we're gonna go through today is our general thought process for preparing for a tournament or any just like serious fishing endeavor that you plan on going on. So we're gonna talk about rod selection, bait selection. We're gonna talk about packing efficiently and just making sure that you have everything you need and get rid of what you don't, trying to be efficient. We have a couple of ways to do that. We're gonna go through that in this video.
Yes, we are. So let's get to it. We're gonna start with rods, then we'll go tackle. Then we'll go like general prep stuff, and I want to wrap this up with a pretty cool app that we found from Omnia.
Should we start with the app?
We should start with the app.
Let's start with the app. So we're gonna cut frame over to the app.
Here it is.
All right, so this is the Omni app. They sent this over to us, and they were like, hey, check it out. So we decided to kind of test it out. So here's the homepage. You can subscribe to different lakes. We wanted to test this out and see how accurate it was. So we went to our home lake, like a local lake that we knew really well. We tested out all the features to see how accurate everything was. So here you got your barometric pressure. You can go forward and back in time. It gives you kind of an overview of what is going on at your lake, water temp, pressure, all that kind of stuff. So, but let's see what the actual stuff is. So you got satellite, you got hybrid. We're gonna go ahead and click the water temperature here, and then you've got water clarity, and then you've got the like bottom hardness. These and with the contours. These are the three templates we found the most useful when you're going out and like scoping out what's going on. So let's go start with water clarity. We'll hit up that. So you're getting like this blue, these different kinds of like basically hues of blue. So you click legend up at the top, and now you can see like, okay, dark blue is more clear. So this is a mostly clear lake. Now this checks out. You can see like the areas that are more shallow, they're a little darker blue, the deep areas a little less so. Now this is water temp. Now you got to zoom in and zoom out to like get it to give you like these different areas. So I don't love that. You finagle with it, but once you get there, it's actually super helpful. So now I can see like the more shallow areas, they're a little bit warmer. The deep areas, they're colder, but I can see right here, I'm looking at like 45, 48-ish degrees as like an average. Some areas are getting to 50 for sure. Those are like the rocky areas, but all this checks out. I actually have this on my sonar from like the week prior when we hit up this lake, again, just to test this app to see how accurate it was. It was like super accurate to reality, which I think this is the most beneficial thing. Water temp is the thing that's going to dictate your lures more than almost anything else. So found this specific thing, like this like feature expressed like super. All right, so now we'll check out the contours, right? Let's see how accurate this was. Really nice. It gives you the bottom hardness, so you can see, okay, where those rocky areas, the real hard bottom, that's like the white stuff down there. And then you can start to see, okay, like where's sand, but then with the contours, you can see, okay, like where are the holes, where are the deeper areas. But yeah, some of these holes, 18 feet, 10 feet, this all checks out with what we know about this lake. So I feel like the accuracy, pretty stinking legit. Really like to see that. Now let's go to Guntersville Lake. That's where we're going to be fishing. So that's where we want to learn a little bit about. So let's head over there. We hit Guntersville. We get the overview. Now, one thing I will call it says water temp is 54 degrees. I'm not really sure how accurate that is. I wouldn't use that because when we clicked on Guntersville, that's not exactly what we were seeing. So we're going to go into the features here. We're going to hit the water temp, which I thought that was the most important thing. We're going to do our little zoomy zoom until like, there it is. We're seeing our like 66, 67 in most of these areas. Now I'm sure maybe at an average, this is 50s for some other areas, but now I can see, okay, where are those shallows? What temps are the shallows reading? What are in the deep areas and like the trenches in the middle of this, like, we'll call it a lake, but you know, the river section, like what are we really looking at here? it's 60s and 70s. I think this is going to be a ton of fun to fish, and this gives us a critical piece of information when we head down to this lake next week. Now let's go check out the clarity. This is the second most useful thing, in my opinion, that it's hard to get eyes on. We're seeing that this is going to be semi-stained water. See that green is like right there in the middle? We're looking at like semi-stained water. It's not going to be super clear. It looks like the edges and the shallows, obviously where it's more shallow, is going to be more clear, but we're dealing with slightly stained water, and that gives us a really good hint at what lures we should be bringing and like how accurate casting is really going to matter. So yeah, we're seeing that. Now let's go check the contour. We'll hit that. Now this is an issue for me. You're seeing some gaps here. Now this app is still in beta, like it's still testing. So, you know, they don't have all the kinks worked out, but this clearly is a gap. You don't have all the information necessary, but I think you get more than enough to be dangerous here. If you start really zooming in on some of these areas, you can start to find like ledges. You can find these areas where, okay, maybe there's a really steep drop off where you can see right here, you got a shallow flat, big wide open areas, but then it drops off really quickly to like 16, 18, and some areas over here like 29 feet. This is going to tell us, okay, where, if we're chasing bait fish, where can we chase some, where are we going to see those bait fish when bass are pushing bait fish up against those like sharp ledges? This just gives you a ton of information, and maybe even some areas to pick out and, you know, go try and hit first when you first get to the lake. So overall, thought the app was super helpful, more helpful than I thought for sure, and actually pretty darn accurate.
And we're back. That app was really helpful, actually. So
one thing we wanted to call out too, so the Omni app, that was certainly new to us, and so the Omni actually pointed it out to us, so that was really helpful. I did like the way that worked, but one thing I wanted to point out too is we would not be doing what we're doing for this total tournament without our sponsors. So Knuklehed obviously reached out to us, so KBF, Chad Hoover, thank you guys, super excited to do this. But Monster Bass, Okuma, Buzbe, all really came to the table to help us give out prizes to everybody, to get more people involved. We got a whole box of prizes for people when we actually go down there that you guys don't know about yet. So there's this box full of stuff.
There's things and stuff.
It's all good.
Don't pay attention to this micro rod. That's involved in a challenge.
So we're going to have a ton of fun, but we just want to thank our sponsors. So thank y'all very much. We're super excited to do this.
Thanks.
And it means a lot. What did you learn?
I learned that the water temps are much higher than we're dealing with right now, which is good news for us.
Mid to high 60s, so even with a week delay, we should still be in that range.
So we're bringing our moving stuff, right? Right now, I have all the cold water gear out for Michigan.
Basement dwellers.
So we're throwing, you know, blade baits, we got tailspins,
jigs,
we got jerk baits,
drop
which I'll still
shots.
bring. But like, yeah, all the cold water stuff. Down south, we get to go a little bit faster. I've seen people hammering on the Alabama rig, on chatterbaits, on spinnerbaits.
Big glides.
Moving. Big glides for sure. I'll be having those.
Even some top water, potentially. I don't think frogs, but like some walking baits probably, right? So they're poppers.
Choppos, plops, and then Buzbeits.
Buzzies.
So we're going to be throwing some of those. So we'll get to the tackle. First things first, I made a mess, so we have to clean up the plastics. So we're gonna take this and we're gonna refill it strictly with the plastics that I need to use down south. I would prefer to have all the plastics I need in my vicinity here, just in this. So I don't have to have a whole bunch of these, not that I won't have maybe one, but usually I'm bringing like 2 or 3 of these full of random accoutrement. If I can pull them out like this, it's a lot more convenient for a tournament. So that's what I'm trying to do.
So we're gonna fill this crate with only what we need, stay focused. So we're gonna do that right meow.
Okay, so I'm done with the flippin' section, essentially. I've got a whole bunch of craws ranging from like your flippin' bugs up to your full-size chunky boys, like those 13 Fishing Ninja craws there. We've also got trailer chunks like that from Big Bites and a few other ones. You're gonna do the same. And then we've got some poop baits. He didn't shake his head because he just bought some.
I'm bringing those.
Another great option that we can bring down from the Midwest would be tubes. So we're gonna be fishing those as well.
It's basically a craw. It's like another kind of flipping bait. The nice thing about these is you can fish them weightless and they are deadly on the craw.
Yep. Hey, it went in. So next up, I'm gonna throw in some chatterbait trailers because I plan on using a chatterbait quite a bit, I think, and hopefully it serves us well. And then I'm gonna get some worms.
It's a lot like watching someone play a video game.
He's just mad because he has to do this later.
I have to do it all over again myself, alone, at midnight, after I edit this video.
You're welcome. So we talked about throwing some worms as well. We might throw the wacky rig. We could do a shaky head if it was that bad, but mostly I'm just looking at probably Texas rigging and wacky rigging. So we're gonna have some big worms, because why not? So I got some yum in there. We
Big
got
worms work very good on ledges, and we are looking at a lot of ledges. So having like a 7 to 10 inch
Allegedly.
worm, allegedly, is a good idea.
All right, and if we have to downsize, we got some dingers.
Dangers.
And also for drop shot or downsizing, the Fat Baby Finesse, because we're gonna throw some big old drop shots. We got some stick baits right there from X Zone. We got some also from KBD. There you go, a little Fat Baby Finesse option there. We got some watermelon from Grande Boss.
That is a sick worm. The value chalice is full.
And then we got this one from KBD.
Man, that's a lot of KBD worms.
Let's see, we got trailers done. We got grubs in there for buzzbaits. We got tubes in here, so I think I'm good with that.
Worms.
Worms are done.
Flukes.
Flukes, right? So I'm gonna probably keep paddle tails and flukes in one of these Buzbees. Here, let me just empty this out. I'm gonna put them in this one right here. All right, so paddle tail wise, we're gonna have a few downsize options. These are mainly if I have to like lighten up the A-rig, I would say, or if it gets really, really tough, I throw these on a ball head jig, hits the river, I can probably get away with it. So we got the Rage Swimmer, we got some donkey tails.
One thing to note about this tournament, it's there's 5-person teams. Each person can only contribute 1 fish. So it's really more about catching. Our strategy is going to be catch
the team
a
has
fish.
to catch.
But our strategy is going to be catch a fish. Like
And
just
then
get a fish on the board.
figure it out.
And then it's like go catch a big fish because it's you're only 1 fish. The deal with paddle tails is you basically need to have small, medium, large. So you need 3 sizes. And within each size, you need to have some naturals, some not naturals like the chartreuse, and then you need to have some light and dark. And that's really it.
Yep.
That's what you need. So that's what we're packing. Flukes is the exact same concept. Small, medium, large, light, dark, natural. And some chartreuse.
And power bait.
You probably should have power bait.
And then I think we're good. So this will be my swimming bag. It's like packing a school lunch. Rods and reels.
So the water, clarity, and depth and temperature has dictated our baits. Our baits are going to dictate the setups that we need. So now we're talking about rods and reels.
Yep. So the one obvious one that I know I'm gonna bring is gonna be the big glide setup. So we've got that rigged up, oversized Komodo SS for the reel. This is the Guide Select.
size.
Yeah, this is the 300 size. We got the Akuma Guide Select here, which has been great to me on glides. So this next one is also definitely going. This is a great small swim bait, soft swim baits, cranking, small glides, everything.
It's like the do-it-all for anything under an ounce.
Yeah, so we got the Shimano SLX DC on here, which is gonna allow me to do a slower retrieve speed, which is great for glides like this one we got from Brennan Brown here. This is on a 7'8", medium heavy, moderate fast from Monster Bass.
We love the Mod Fast.
I've been loving this rod.
I've been saying, in general, Mod Fast is my new go-to class of rod. The Mod action is phenomenal.
All right, next up, we got a high-speed reel here, the SLX, and it's also got upgraded bearings, so this baby purrs. And then we got this on the Monster Bass bladed jig rod. So this
Great. That's my second favorite rod in the lineup, I think.
It's a 7'4" medium heavy mod fast. My other go-to, so I'm keeping in mind we're throwing spinner baits, we're throwing chatter baits. These 2 rigs, they're gonna have, one will have a spinner, one will have a chatter bait. So this next one is the Akuma Psycho Stick paired up with the 8-speed reel of the Hakai from Akuma. But this will be either the spinner bait or the chatter bait as well. Next up, I'm taking a cranking stick.
So I think the cranking stick is something that you could get away with like another mod fast rod, but you really do have to have one setup that you feel really comfortable catching crankbait fish on, because we're chasing bait fish, which means lipless and crankbaits. That could be the juice, especially for pre-fishing when you're searching for fish and trying to find where they are and try and find the ones that are chasing the bait fish, like on those ledges. It might be the only thing.
So, figure I need that. So what we have here is we have the Akuma Guide Select. It's a 7'5". It's a medium moderate. So you gotta have that moderate if you're dealing with treble hooks. So far we're at 5 bait casters. Let's cap off the bait casters, and then I gotta add a couple spinning rigs here as well, just in case. There's other techniques we gotta use with those. So we got the brand new flipping setup. I'm excited about this one. So we got the Abu Garcia Revo SXSS. It's a lot of letters, you know.
The Super Sport.
Super Revo SX Super Sport 4x4.
Type R.
This is such a Toyota Tacoma. That's what it is. All right, so it means shallow spool. So this thing only takes 44 yards. We're going to be flipping and pitching with this setup. I've got it paired up with the Okuma Psycho Stick. You've seen a few of them in here, and that's because they're lightweight, they're reliable, and they're just built to destroy anything.
Well, they're really
like they're crazy.
They're really sensitive, and you'll notice that they're a little bit smaller than some other rods, even at their weight class. It's because the way they weave that carbon fiber, you get a lot of sensitivity and a lot of strength out of not as much material. So that's how they get the weight down, the sensitivity up, and power where you want it to be.
Yep. So we'll be taking that for flipping and pitching.
Short range work only.
Yeah, so that's going to be your flipping bugs, your craws, your heavy poop baits, and potentially even flukes if I go up super shallow and I just want to jack the jaw. All right, so there's that.
But you need one for the long range.
So since that's like the heavy setup for flipping baits, but it's only really good for up shallow, we want something for a little bit deeper because we do have some ledges and some drop-offs with rocks that we might want to put a jig or a Texas rig down on. So for that, I'm gonna bring this setup. We got the Lose Tournament MP. Great reel, built really well, heavy drag setup on this so it can handle bigger baits, bigger fish. And then we've got that paired up with the Monster Bass Medium Heavy, which will handle up to an ounce. It's got the backbone, and I've put it to work. This is actually the rod that I did the first poop videos on. Actually, both poop videos.
Exactly,
yep. So I've caught a ton of fish on this, heavy gauge hooks, just slamming them. And it was a lot of fun. A lot of fun. So this is a great combo. That's coming.
Yep. Gotta have a jig rod.
All right, so that puts us at 7 bait casters. But those are probably going in the boat. Like that's like the guaranteed setup.
Again, you're dealing with larger fich.
Yep.
Bait casters, it's more power. I mean, that's just all there is to it. But you do need to have some finesse. So you're gonna need to be able to wacky rig, weightless flukes and worms and any of that kind of stuff that you're trying to do, as well as
power shot.
The power shot.
Yep. So for power shotting, I've got one specific setup here. This is probably the one that'll go in the boat. The other one's kind of my backup, a little downsized. So this is the Okuma Ceros. It's like an economy line from Okuma essentially, but these things are built pretty well. Like, it's built like a tank. It'll handle stuff. So this is a medium heavy 7-foot. And then we've got that paired up with the Okuma Samar HD, which is obviously not spooled up yet. Don't worry about that.
Nothing to see here.
Nothing to see here. So that one is, we're gonna install a power shot and it's never leaving this unless it breaks off. Yep. So that's my power shot.
And potentially a wacky rig.
So this is a medium Psycho Stick from Okuma with the Okuma ITX. I mean, it's just a sexy combo. It's a really good setup.
Super sensitive.
I'm just worried that we need to go heavier, deeper, bigger fish. So
and really
I don't
lines.
know if I need it.
And really line. Like the line is dictating a lot of this.
Yep.
And then the weights of the baits. So I think water temp.
Yep.
The type of water we're looking at is really dictating a lot of the baits and is dictating the setups and dictating the type of line that we're going to need to use on all of these setups. So that's basically all of the gear that we're going to need to catch fish.
So we got all the plastics and we got 9 combos that we're going to be taking with us. And now we got to do tackle.
Oh, God.
So before I get to the tackle, we're going camping. If you guys don't,
don't
know.
He caught it. Darn it.
Darn it. He had a shot, he flubbed it. If you guys don't know, KBF headquarters and where we're gonna like meet up, do our captain's meeting, all that stuff. It's occurring, and sleep, at Ditto Landing. So this is down in Huntsville, Alabama. That's where we're gonna be home basing it. And then we'll be driving to Guntersville, wherever we all wanna launch, because there's 40,000 launches on Guntersville. So we gotta pack to camp. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna bring a tent. We're gonna be sleeping in a tent. It's a tent mansion.
So far, so good.
It's huge. We got cots, we got sleeping bags.
A grill.
A grill.
A big cooler with food and beverages.
A Yeti full of stuff. Is it iced down with some silver bullets?
No, Coors Light is overrated.
Agreed. All right, so it'll be iced down with something. Maybe some canned jam, some like funsy stuff, right? So we're gonna have all that stuff. We'll figure that out, and hopefully we get to hang out with our friends around the campfire. I think that'll be great.
We got to make sure that we have some warm weather, some cold weather gear, some warm weather gear, right? So that means being able to launch in colder water. 65-degree water, not warm. So knee-high boots for sure to make sure that we can launch if there's no like dock or anything like that. Got to have some pants. It's probably going to be cooler in the mornings, and then you may be able to get the shorts, but you may not. So
layers.
We're going to be ready for that. So we got to have you got to have the hoodie, got to have a couple coats, you got to have some rain gear. You just never know. Bring the rain gear. I'd rather have it than not have it. Most of it's going to stay in the truck. You can only wear like one thing, but you got to be prepared for those eventualities. I will have gloves and a hat as well, just in case. So we will have the appropriate clothing to stay safe and warm.
Yep. We'll also be hydrated. Lots of water.
Oh, yeah.
Lots of caffeinated beverages.
Need that. You got to stay
Yeah.
sentient
Yeah.
and awake in order to catch fish. That's what I've heard.
Yeah.
If I'm not heavily caffeinated, I may not make it.
It's true. Also, snacky poos. We're gonna have protein bars mostly.
We've talked about like the importance of being happy is like of utmost importance.
So, number one.
Being hydrated, being caffeinated, but also we'll have some Gatorades, but also having like food when you're just like down on your luck and you need to have a switch. I'm just gonna eat some calories. Turn my frown upside down.
1000%. And then you see the sideline bag here. I'm not using this to carry tackle. I'm actually going to take the tackle boxes out of here. This is going to be for my clothes because it happens to be like a nice stand-up bag with a lot of space in it.
You should buy one.
Yeah, totally. All right, see ya, bye. So I had a nice bona fide bag, and now it's gone.
The other thing I will say, you do need a little bit of safety equipment. We're going to be launching early in the morning, so we will have flags on the back of the kayak with lights on top, and I will also have a headlamp with me just in case. Again, you just don't know. We just went through daylight savings. It's going to be brighter in the mornings, but that means to be darker earlier. You just got to be ready for that eventuality. So safety is always going to be paramount, especially when you're kayak fishing.
I've been seeing people posting videos fishing Guntersville specifically in recent weeks, and it's pitch black when they launch.
There you go.
All right. So first box we got is our top water special. I needed to condense a whole bunch of boxes into this one. So we've got some of my favorite top water walking baits and prop baits, as well as randomly a Hellraiser, because who knows what's gonna happen. We got some poppers in here, and then we got some frogs. You never know what might work. And then we got a whole bunch of buzzbait accoutrement here as well. So I'm excited about that. Next up, we got jerk baits. I'm not gonna say too much about it because I hope I don't have to resort to it, but they could be a game changer. So this is the crank box, basically all the body baits of every type. We've got our shallow diving square bills. We've got our larger, deeper diving square bills. We've got mid to deep diving crankbaits. We got flat-sided crankbaits in there, and then we have a whole lipless corner right there. That's my lipless section. So next up, we got two terminal boxes. One is gonna be big stuff terminal. So I already had these separated, and I typically never use this box because we're so finessey up here, but like I plan on using this down there. Then we got the finesse terminal. So this would be all my drop shot and Ned rig stuff. Again, I kind of hope I don't have to resort to this, but if I do, I feel confident about it. Next up, we got medium to bigger size swim baits in this Buzbe deep box. So this will be the day box. Whatever's in here, ignore it, because I'm gonna dump that out and mix in some of my confidence baits from all of these boxes, right?
Top 5 of each type of lure.
Yep.
That's what's gonna go in there.
And then jigs.
Yep.
Lots and lots of jigs. There we go. Those are all my boxes that are going. Oh wait. And then big old glides. If you guys haven't seen this before, this is the I Surrender bag. My God, watch out.
I had a reaction.
I just scared him. All right, so there's all the big glides. Those are definitely going as well. All right, you guys, so Paul now has to go do exactly what I just did for the past 1 hour and 13 minutes. Enjoy that process. So we are currently in prep mode. We are driving down, as of the film in this video, we're driving down in 3 days. So like it's happening very soon.
And as we said before, everything is dictated by water temp, the conditions when you get down there, the depth and of the place that you're fishing. So it all starts with your research, try and get as much information as you can about what works, where you're going, and the type of conditions that you're gonna experience when you get down there, and then customize your tackle, the baits you're gonna bring for that experience. So that's in my opinion, that's a good way to prepare for either attacking a new lake or attacking a tournament, in this case, a tournament that you kind of care about doing well in, right? So we're gonna say high stakes, but really it's whatever that means for you. And hopefully that helps you out, because I feel like it's challenging to go to a new lake.
It's a process.
In and of itself.
Yep.
But this is a repeatable process that you can go through. Hopefully this helps you go pick apart your next lake or in your next tournament that you maybe are unprepared for.
Yeah. And as you guys are watching this, we're currently pre-fishing. It's Friday, and we are gonna do our tournament tomorrow. So tune in on our Instagram channel and you will see what's going on at that moment. We'll drop a lot of stories. We might even do some live, so come hang out with us.
And some vids. You're gonna see us, hopefully.
Please?
Please.
Please. All right, wish us luck, you guys. We love you. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll catch you on the next video. Bye. We gotta go. Oh, I forgot my rods.